to make sure we can see Alex.
Hi, Alex.
Good evening, everyone.
How are you?
Okay,
So we're going to call a meeting to order. This is ACA, the Advisory Committee on Community Appearance, and I believe we've only got one applicant item on this today, which is 677 Boston Post Road. But what we're going to do, since they're waiting on part of their team, is go down to the bottom of the agenda, which is,
We'll do your
actually,
own.
this is at the top anyway.
Yeah,
I don't
you're
even have to redouble
yeah.
it.
yeah,
We were making sure that we didn't get out of here without doing this. right?
yes.
Election of officers, to chair and vice chair. So I don't know how we normally broach this. Is-
I'll make a motion to,
No.
just gonna make a motion to pass Matt Williams, we made his chair.
I thought you were
Oh, yeah,
vice chair or
I'm
something.
vice chair.
Oh, okay,
president and vice chair,
is that what it is?
all in one.
No, you have to have a chair and vice chair.
I make a motion of John Cunningham, vice chair.
Okay,
How about my motion to make Matt as chair?
Ron's gonna second that.
Oh, okay.
Alex, do you have any thoughts?
I'm gonna abstain from this just because I won't be here for much longer. I don't know if there's a way to postpone until you get more people in.
You mean electing officers?
Yeah,
It was
Yeah.
supposed to be done in January and we pushed it then, so.
Does that mean you would want to replace us if you could?
no, if it's just not very many people to choose from, is there?
It's been that way for a long time.
It's really bad, actually.
All right.
It's slim pickings. But I guess if that's the case, Maria, if for sake of moving forward, I'm happy to support you both.
Okay. It might be better if you did, just so that we have those, one more voice is a good thing to have as we lose our traction here a little bit. It seems like in numbers, but
It does take
we've been
a
trying.
long time to get new people.
Yeah, we've got to really, I've got to maybe start working hard at trying to get somebody else in here. All right, so I don't have any real disagreement, nor would I be allowed to probably.
So,
So,
so I think Ron second my motion
Yep.
to make Matt chair, and I'll second Ron's motion to make myself vice chair.
okay.
Just-
So-
Or if it's, yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Let's like the second.
Okay.
So any more discussion? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Yeah, I could skip to the minutes if you want.
Check that box off. Okay, so the minutes, let's see.
I did read through the minutes and happy to make a motion. We approve them.
I'll second that.
Who just seconded that?
Any, you all set?
Yeah, I wasn't here, so I.
Any discussion? No, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. Okay, so. We can, wait a few more minutes.
Do you have anything you can put on the?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I could get you started with a little
Okay,
bit
great.
of the background, just so
Okay.
we're not sitting here
So
and all for
25
silence.
04 665 Boston Post Road, otherwise known as Madison Park. Firehouse.
All right, so I'm Ben Whitaker, remember me from last time, I'm the construction manager for the Madison Public Schools and the town of Madison. I've been working with both the team at the firehouse and with the town on an emergency operations center addition at the firehouse. So the property is owned and will continue to be owned by Madison Hose Company #1. But the town is the beneficiary of a grant, which we're essentially using to build this emergency operations center. It's part grant and part town SIP funds to invest in this property. And there'll be an agreement for the town to utilize the second floor of this bay as the emergency operations center moving forward. So we had this project before you about a month ago, in an informal way, and took a lot of your design thoughts and considerations into the revised design that we have for the facility. Mark O'Connell from Silver Petrocelli will walk through his design. He's got a little animation too. And Dominic is here from Munger Construction. Munger is the design builder on the job, so Silver Petrocelli is actually working for them. But some of our takeaways from the last meeting were to move away from just a really strictly traditional face. I think the original intent was to try to get this addition to blend in with the building and be kind of a monolithic front. What we heard from the committee was to treat it as almost as a separate building. There actually is a 1 inch gap between the two buildings. So I guess technically it could be. So we went a little bit different direction with the design, mixed in some different brick colors, some more precast elements, and kind of broke the mold from the building. We also jogged the building back as far as we could, which wasn't very far. Mark can give you the exact figure, but I think it's about a half brick length back. But it does break the plane and actually separate. I thought that was a really cool idea the committee had last time. We took that and ran with it immediately. And it really does. It also makes it so that joint that's going to exist isn't going to just be a massive caulk joint in the middle of the building. It sets it back. So that was kind of an ancillary benefit of that as well. The one element when we get to the renderings that's still being toyed with a little bit by the firehouse is on our west elevation. They wanted to see some more clapboard elements put in there to mix with what they have in the rear of the building. We're just still working out how that would look. That just came down to us on Friday when we had already prepared everything. So we said, hey, actually, why not ask your opinion about that while we're at it? Because that seems to be one of those like last final design details where everybody's got a different opinion on and what should we do? So do you have the rendering?
I have a rendering.
Yeah.
I only have like 2.
Yeah, there was only 3 total. So
Okay.
you have 2/3.
For some reason, I thought we had seen a rear,
Yeah, there should be.
and I don't have that.
Yep. So that's the front, and then there's another one, kind of looking if you were standing more to the east, looking out. There you go. And then there was one more that had the rear.
I don't have the rear.
I think so. I think that's.
Yeah, these are new. Yep.
Yes.
So the differences between the last set is the last set was brick front all the way down the whole front, and with almost the same color brick, like they were trying to match the brick. Now, what the designer did was he pulled the darkest color red out of the existing brick. The brick is multiple colors. It's actually kind of a chocolatey brown in there too, and carried that red over onto the building and completely changed this area here. It used to just be one precast block, and then it was all brick below it. So now it's a series of precast blocks to kind of give it a more modern feel in the front, which was one of the things that the committee was talking about. The side of the building, the eastern elevation there remains unchanged. That is a metal panel. That's going to be, it's an insulated metal panel that will be up against the steel. The neighbor had expressed to us that he wanted it as light as it could be in that alley. He didn't like the idea of all brick there either. And that's pretty expensive to do and doesn't give you much room to work inside there. Margaret's team has been working on a way to actually build in that narrow alley space and get these vertical panels up there. So just kind of a whole new, it's still kind of semi-traditional, but does make it look more modern. And it also definitely differentiates the building from the existing.
I can bring up the other one just so, because Ron wasn't here.
On the previous
Yeah.
one.
Oh, see, yeah. I haven't looked at it in a while too. It'd be actually kind of cool to see. I'm playing architect tonight.
Is it fun?
Yes, it is.
Can I ask just one quick question on this one? Is that brick above the 2 new doors? Is that like 2 courses of brick?
Yeah, that's a soldier course, no, below,
up here.
right above the doors.
That's a soldier
That's
course.
the same brick.
Yes.
Same brick soldier course, so.
Yeah, I just couldn't,
Yeah.
my eyes are not great. I couldn't see exactly what it was. I thought it might be a different.
You want me to email you the third one?
I got it.
Oh, you do? Okay, yeah, there's the rear. That's
That
the
was the
original,
original.
yeah. You found the rear of the new rendering now?
No,
Oh, you want me to send that one to you?
yes, I don't have
Yeah, I'll
that.
send
So that was the original, and this is the new one.
Yeah.
If you have that animation, you could give her that.
I do.
And besides that, western elevation, we were talking about that, that's something that might be a final design element we're working out with the firehouse folks.
Yes.
They love this design, they've signed off on it. I think it's a good complement to their existing structure.
What am I looking at?
So renderings 211, the top.
Can't open it.
While we're waiting for that to get pulled up, did you guys by any chance do a rendering using a lighter colored brick?
We did, actually. Mark actually created both sets, one with all dark and one with all light. And the all dark was unanimous as the one to move forward to the group.
Do you have a sample of the brick with you?
He does. He's unpacking. We'll hold it up to the camera for you.
Where's the camera?
Little.
Easy.
That's better, yeah. When you tip it forward.
Yeah, and what color grout would you use?
I think that's still a little bit in the air.
I can see it, yes. Perfect. That's your workout for the day. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We have.
Could we see that?
Oh, yeah, something, right?
Thanks.
Is that a compliment?
I just sent
Well,
you.
that's a very, nature of the old-
No, really, but but if it's gonna try to be different, then it should be as different as it can be. I think. Swear I used this somewhere. I like that a lot. This is one that I would, a lot of buildings. I like the richness of it. Is it? I think we'll let you go ahead.
Yeah.
In a second, but I think, I mean, focusing purely on brick color, that's the color that it doesn't match Alex, and I think the way I can see that on the screen when he was holding it up, and it's probably even a little richer in person than it looked on the screen, in terms of color, but that seems to have been the intent, so.
It's also lighter than the rendering shows. Like when we saw that this morning, that was our first take. It's like it looks lighter than it does in the
A
rendering.
little bit,
But
yeah,
yeah.
but we'll let you continue, so.
So I gave him a rundown of the project, the feedback we took from the last session, went through a couple of the renderings, and we didn't talk about this one yet.
Are you joining the Zoom meeting so you can share your animation?
It's misbehaving.
That always does.
That's all right. It doesn't work, doesn't. The animation was like a walking down the sidewalk looking at the building.
I think it's very large. Okay. I'm going to VPN back to our office. Sorry, no, yeah. So did you have any questions regarding the?
Yeah, They made
You
it
want
go
the
back to the,
rendering?
they
Back
go
to the
back
graphic
to
you had.
the front of the new,
Yeah.
the new rendering of the front of the building.
Sure.
You have a westerly, rendering?
We do. We have one that goes all the way around.
I only have three. Just three photos.
Again, the one you have here, there are.
Other than the other one.
Because it would be nice if it were. Like
Yeah, that's,
that.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's
yeah.
supposed to be darker, yeah.
It's supposed to be
Yeah.
dark.
I like that the building's pushed back. The building's a big plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes me
it really,
even slightly.
yeah.
And I
Well,
like,
it helps explain the misalignment of everything. It's
Yeah.
a separate building.
Actually, it's
Well, I
more in keeping
have to
with
download
everything
each
else,
one, right?
having it pushed back,
It
because
is.
everything's like this
Right,
all over the
right.
place.
A different window.
How far back
is
the building?
Yes.
Push, I don't know, is it one?
4 inches.
4 inch, yeah, so I thought it was half a brick, so.
Yeah, 8 inches was too much.
Yeah, any further, it would.
Yeah.
block.
Right, I
Small
understand that.
band of
You know, the details, the profiles are maybe just a little heavy, but, you know.
You mean the white part?
Yeah. So one thought I could speak to while you're trying to find that is, as far as around the corner with the metal siding,
Yes,
you guys can carry that masonry exterior even 4 feet back, just enough so that the metal doesn't become part of what people really see from the street, coming down the street. You know, because that'll be, and the other question is do you have a profile picked out for that? As to what that metal siding profile is gonna be?
it's a flat.
It's flat it's a flat panel, like,
Yes, it's a Kingspan flat panel.
I'm sorry,
It's a 3 foot wide.
3 foot wide metal panel,
Yeah,
okay,
with,
that's good.
yeah.
So you
That's
see,
good.
Vertical
you see
joints.
seams,
Yeah.
So you won't see, it won't be corrugated, it won't.
but I'd like.
You're
to-
talking about this side?
Yes.
Just around the corner.
On this side,
That's the pond side.
Yeah, I can see that in the back, yep. That's the back, yeah.
That's the back.
you were speaking toward the alleyway. though.
Yeah, if you can,
Can you go
I don't
back
know
to
how
that?
far you gotta
What is
take
that,
it, but I'm
east?
thinking maybe as little as 4 feet, but just so the building has a real corner, it doesn't look like a facade. From that
Just
angle, you don't look like a
Yeah.
facade that was stuck on a metal building.
That's a good point.
Yeah, we actually were toying with that, because we were trying to figure out, again, going with that kind of slightly more modern look we were talking about.
This
Yeah.
one?
And we were
Yeah.
debating back and forth about carrying the brick around, and then kind of landed on, well, if we're gonna try to go for a little more modern, we were still pretty traditional with that style, so we said, okay, well, maybe if we have that metal panel poking out, it gives it, again, not right or wrong, that was just thought process behind
Yeah,
it.
I mean, I don't know, it's,
Can I ask a question? You see the art gallery next door to the fire? How far is that building, the front of that building, behind your new addition?
That's roughly aligned with the existing facade.
okay, so it's out, so
So it's still
if
proud.
it is aligned, it'll be 4 inches proud of the new
Okay.
addition. Okay. That's good.
I'm guessing they're gonna be red indicator lights above the doors of the new facility.
See it if it goes down the corner.
Yeah.
A little
You
bit.
need at least a couple.
See, yeah.
Okay.
What about up above?
So, yeah, this aligns
That lines
with
up
with
nice.
this.
And what's that little white block there, right in the?
That's an existing piece of stone or cast stone
Oh, really?
that terminates it. There's one.
Really? Oh, okay. Interesting. Good.
So this is the white siding on it.
Sam just said there'd be red lights. I don't know, somebody asked about lights.
Yeah, see, that's the
Yeah.
lights on, red lights on the corners like we have.
You see, there are red lights over these doors. We can add lights here as necessary. think we would mimic whatever is here. I think it would look on this,
Right.
which is a little tougher from one model.
Does it need it? Where would you?
No, I would carry those details, just wrap them around the corner.
Oh, the same thing on the
Yeah.
front, just.
Just make this longer, that edge longer.
Yeah, just.
Right now, it's 2 feet.
So it returns 2 feet back
Right.
from the front of the street?
Right.
Okay, well, it didn't read that wide, so that's good, yeah. One other question, you might go back to that front just for a second? I'm sorry you can't see this, Alex.
I know, I'm trying to figure out a way to, because I have a media player, but
Camera, you can see where-
Yeah, you see there are light fixtures here.
Okay.
I think one of those red lights is.
Would,
I think it warns people that somebody's about to come
Does
out of
it?
the garage.
yeah. Does it make any, I mean, I'm tempted to fiddle with the width of that intermediate band of bricks. If you can stop right there. The one that's above the doors.
This one?
Yeah, I mean, you got two options. You can either take that brick right to the top of the door opening and just make those pillars, you know? Or you could,
Push it up.
or you can skinny it a little bit more. And that is, what is that? Is that a stone of some kind or
This is cast stone.
cast stone?
Yeah, precast.
Yeah, so, but if it was a narrower band, and that's what all the other banding is precast.
Yes.
But maybe if that was just another narrow band of precast just at the top of the doors to give that brick a little more reason to be. I can see what you're doing. You're trying to sort of align it with that other building and without looking at it. And I should probably just go out there and look at it. I'm just not sure how much of that band do you really see that band on the original building?
Oh, yeah, we do.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah, I have
I think
photographs.
that band is effective.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm not saying it isn't. It's just a little skinny.
Oh, you want it wider?
Yeah,
Oh, I see.
that's all.
It's,
So where would you put lights?
I would try it wider. I wouldn't, I just.
the second band underneath,
I still feel like there's too much trim, so to speak, and not enough feel. That's just my own, reaction.
see, you can see the band, it even casts a shadow.
Okay,
So it'll be the same height.
Yeah.
And if we have mortar top and bottom, we can make it, then it will be
Well, I-
half, 3/4 of an inch.
you guys have studied it. I'm not, just a question.
And there's the light fixtures. They don't stand out much.
Where would you put you say you wanted lights? Above the garage doors?
I think that there's a requirement that there be some signal that
Where would you put them?
if we were to
And
have
what would
them.
they look like? I mean, I think that's a pretty significant architectural
Right,
feature if you put them there.
Right, we don't have them designed yet, but we would make it something, we would not match what's here, which
Right.
is sort of
Yeah,
older fashion. We'd probably either make it a disc or, which would maybe.
yeah, you'd really have to be cognizant.
And where would they
of
go
what it
above the
will do
doors?
To that
They
whole
would go
facade.
above the door. It's possible that we would stop the band here for a light,
Mhm.
or here, make a coin out of it. Or if we don't want to make it such a big deal, we'd probably have it centered in the precast.
Yeah, that might. It would be too bad if you have, like.
Yeah, I'd rather not,
Yeah,
but
that gives it really the
and the
character.
brilliance of the fixture is enough. It doesn't have to be.
Yeah, these days you could get something.
I can see it on a street view. It's a projected soldier on the existing building, right?
Yeah.
It's a soldier course, it's popped.
Right. So here it's negative, here it's positive. We have, as you requested, much less brick. It's too much brick, and too much like this. So it reads as a separate.
Yeah, it's definitely much better.
Yeah, I think it looks good.
Yeah, man, you might be right.
Maybe that all together, move that corners down, blend it with over the doors, or you widen it.
Make it a little bit bigger.
I kind of want to do that, not worry so much about what the other buildings
Do
do.
you see this, Matt? Do you see this?
It could be-
You guys see this band up here?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's wider than that one.
How about if you match that band down here and then expand it on that?
It's kind of what I'm suggesting. You
Yeah.
start running out of.
You know what I mean by that?
Well, this one, I mean, this is 8 inches, that's 8 inches. That, I don't know why it doesn't read that way. That's 8 inches.
Are each of these white bands 8 inches?
Yes, those are all 8 inches.
So is that 8 inches over the doors on the wall? Or is that?
This is wider.
That's
This
wide.
this is deeper.
So you've got 3 courses of brick.
Because this is a result.
It looks skinnier than that picture. That's just.
This would be 8 inches, 8 inches, 8 inches.
Well, the bottom ones, because they're double, look,
Yes.
at least in the render,
There's a little
looks
shadow that
thicker,
pops out as
looks
well.
thicker than the one on the top. So if you reduce the size of each one of those by an inch, then you'd gain 2 inches for the band. And isn't the negative band an optical illusion that it looks skinnier than the positive
Yeah,
band?
they're exactly the same height.
I understand that. But is it an optical illusion that because it's negative, it looks skinnier?
Well, it's also because the other band projects. I think it's drawn a little narrow. I don't think it's quite drawn. Because it doesn't align.
It's a detail.
Uh,
I mean, yeah.
But
Well, that's why,
basically,
that's why I'm asking, because it kind of looks like it just,
it looks like it's a hair shallow. So we would match what's there.
Okay.
I think the brick on top of the door is a important feature. I like the red.
I do too. I like the red a lot. I like the color.
Yeah.
The way it's rendered. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I kind of think you probably want a mortar that's blended with, not you know, matching the brick, but something
Right.
a little darker.
Yeah.
Red with a good red pigment. Yes.
And you are confident that these are darker than what's existing?
Yes, and if it's not, we can Belden and Glengarry, I mean, because this is what we want. What we were trying to do was match the dark red that was in, because this is a mix. And it has some brown in it, it has some sort of pinkish gray, which was the lighter color that I didn't like. And I like the tougher,
Mm.
dark purplish. And if we have a little bit light, darker mortar, I think it'll be darker anyway. But I think it's not quite as purple as we want.
You don't have a sample of that white, what do you call it, in the blocks?
It's a precast.
Yeah, do you have a sample of
I
it?
don't have,
Okay. Is it, what kind of white is it? Is it that white or is it that white?
it would be, it'd probably end up being like a chair,
Okay,
like a,
so it's not a bright white?
it won't be a bright white,
Oh,
no.
okay.
No, this is bright white.
There's
Okay.
usually a few different tones to that.
This will be an off-white or
Okay.
a very light one.
That's the color. Probably more like that. Yeah, you can
We
get,
don't want it to be dead.
you can get a warmer, creamier, or a slightly,
Okay. Are
slightly
you,
beige
but you're cool
color.
with the color they're gonna pick?
I haven't seen the sample.
It's gonna be a.
You think it's
When you guys come in to finish this thing, right? We haven't made application yet.
They have,
Oh, you have?
this is now an application.
Oh, okay.
I just think, you guys have looked at the stone and the brick together and it all goes together. It looks, it's a good kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think, so it's gonna be more white is the idea, because that's what's gonna give you that contemporary look.
Right.
Okay.
It'll be a very, very light line stone.
Right.
That's really what we want. But not the brilliant one.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That answered it. I was hoping it wasn't gonna be a brilliant white. I was hoping it was gonna be a little off-white, so I think the off-white's gonna go better with a little bit darker brick. Okay. I'm good with it.
I am too. I would like to give, just, I don't know what the right depth is, 2 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet on the round.
On the side.
On the corner, but
So what are we, about a foot now, or do we say?
it looks more like a foot the way it's rendered. It doesn't look like it's too. I know that you never can tell. All the stretching and foreshortening that cameras do these days.
Well, do you
Plus
want
the
it to
space
extend
between
beyond
those
the
buildings.
building?
Well, it doesn't have to go too far back. I think at the most, it's about 4 feet. You know, but I just-
Yeah, well, that'll go beyond the.
And then you really, then it'll really look like a.
Which is
real-
good.
Real building, especially since the cornice doesn't continue on, cap that metal, which I know is a big detail in construction, a headache, expense. Basing the cornice over metal panels, is just something we mess around with.
See here, it
Easier
looks
to
like-
just
yeah,
turn
it is for short. So that's,
That's why.
it's actually,
Yeah, I know, it was
More
great,
than
that's the
side-
right
more
question.
than
I
side.
know.
If they're flush.
Yeah, this
How
is
far apart are
like,
these buildings?
this is about 2'7",
Are that close?
and this
Oh,
is,
Jesus.
this is supposed to be 2 feet.
This is what's doing.
You're
I
not,
think it's strong.
honestly,
It probably doesn't matter.
I'm thinking like you're thinking, but I think at the end of the
1,
day,
2, 3.
you're not gonna see more than 2 feet of
If
that.
you can get 2 feet, then you.
Is it worth doing?
Yeah, you say
You
that.
see,
Well,
there's,
2 feet.
it's three,
Yeah.
three brick lengths.
So it's 2
That's 2
feet,
feet.
it's 2 feet.
It's 2 feet.
And you're gonna want it at the top too?
Yeah. Well, he's got it right there, that, what he's got drawn, that's 3 bricks, that's 2 feet.
It's 2 feet. I can make it 30 inches. I mean, I can make it 4 brick. And I would do the same on the front side, in case of the front and back. Front and back. Brick front and back. Because there's also, that's an 18.
Go on, talk about the back a little bit.
I think we're good with the front.
I guess we're good.
We're good with the front.
We got a glimpse of it, I don't know if you have anything you want to show us.
Pop that back on the screen just so the guy can see too. She has the rendering of the back mark.
She does.
She can put it on the screen.
Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Nobody even knows it's there.
No.
Firehouse is like just a wall with doors, trucks drive through it.
Yeah, we were talking about it.
Nobody knows
You
it's
can see it
there.
from the back of the parking lot, from the post office, and probably from the boardwalk.
Even when you walk a boardwalk, you don't notice.
You really don't
You
look.
don't.
You see like like this little section.
I know.
That's
It's,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what, that was the section, like I said, it was kind of a last minute thing to us with this section here. Going to incorporating some sort of clapboard into it and possibly that, right above that door to the right there, that's the stair tower, fire stair, putting 2 windows in there. Just to break up, I think their intention. I didn't get a full answer on why they wanted that, but I think it's just to break up the monolithicness of that wall. Remember last time we displayed this, it didn't have those bands of color. It was just a flat.
Oh, yeah, it looks,
But-
definitely looks better when
Yeah.
you've broken that up. That was.
My fear is over clapboarding when they said, hey, can we make that wall all clap?
Yeah, right. You don't want just 2-story.
We talked about actually making these bands be the clapboard and hardy board in between.
Yeah.
So that we had 2 different textures on the face of the wall that would break it up. We've got the 4x8 hardy board panels and clapboard hardy board in between. With a gray that matches the gray that's there, the one gray that's there. Again, the brick, the bands, the precast, it's all the same, front and back. This is the EOC side, this is the emergency operations side. So we thought it was owed something as well.
Is that a new,
Fire stair,
exterior?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now there's a wood stair that's in wretched shape. So that's a steel stair. It's got to be covered. This is actually showing a little higher than it's going to be.
That was my question. It's
It's
not
probably-
gonna,
It's probably going to be more like 8 feet to
Can't
the,
get, keep Sam, you just say you don't have to cover that.
it's got,
Over tread. You won't go over
well, it's wood, it's metal stairs. I don't think they want to heat the stair. So we'll push this down.
Nobody wants it. Nobody wants it.
that. No, I,
Sam doesn't want it.
But we have a path to it from the deck, the wood deck we have up there. We'll have guardrails to the back of this, which there currently isn't.
yeah, it's the.
It's to make it safe.
What's the purpose of the structure? It's an emergency exit.
No, with the whole structure.
It's steel
Well,
with a
it's
standing
required to
seam.
have Weather protection. Or pending.
You mean roof?
Yes.
Yeah. And
It's supposed
but
to be covered.
in a new building, I don't believe it's required because the code is applying to use that as NFPA 101, which only applies to an existing building like that. So Now, he has all kinds of leverage and pull, we all know, right? But maybe he's afraid if he gives himself a little pass on that
We don't want
one.
to, we don't want to jump over too many things
Yeah, that's right.
when we can provide.
But I was surprised to see that in the current building code, they don't have an exterior exit stair, which that is probably not a fire escape. It, you could have an open tread. Because you probably, I mean, it used to be that, a walking surface and the means of egress with little holes in it was considered a hazard. But they actually allow that now, and IBC allows that, so. But it's the back of the building, we're not concerned about it, so. Right?
Well,
I'm
it's
not- I'm
like
not-
like, it looks like it sticks up above the top right now, but that's
Yeah,
just the
it
drawing.
looks out of place,
Yeah.
and they always do when you
Yeah.
cover an exterior stair, it almost.
But it'll be, I mean, it's shown right now, it's shown like 11 feet. It's going to be 3 feet lower.
Right.
So you won't see it from the street.
That's a solid tread.
Yeah.
We all know that the snow won't pile up on the stairs along with that roof way up there, will it?
Right.
So,
Shovel. Okay.
all right, but, so Maria, so this is an application, they probably want to get our
Yes,
our help on this moving forward, right? So,
yes.
Alex, do you have any other questions or comments or concerns?
Sure, I was gonna go, so I'm struggling with the red brick. That was my initial impression, but I'm not there in person. And Matt, I trust your architectural experience on that. Your thoughts are it works?
Well, I think the sample that we're seeing is really good. You never know with a brick until you build a mock-up. But I like what I'm hearing from, I'm so sorry, I forgot your name.
Ben.
Ben. I like what I'm hearing from Ben and his representation of what the building committee or the fire department, they really like the richness of it. So I'm not worried about them veering into a thing that I think would be the wrong way to go, which is a much lighter brick that starts to clash with the old brick. So I think that whether it's this brick or one very similar, and then the mortar selection is something that's got to happen on a mock-up. I think I'm hopeful that they'll keep it rich, empower, which I think is better personally. I think that's better than having.
Okay.
Good washout. I don't know. How do you feel about that, the dark brick though?
Well, on the rendering on the screen, when I first looked at it, it looked dated to me, but of course it's the monitor and everything else, right? So it's, to your point, you really don't see it until you see it.
And I'm sure it was a different color on the monitor you were looking at versus the one we saw, but I mean, the one I could see when he held it up, it didn't look as rich as it looks in person.
Alex, the monitor looks a little more, quite a bit more purplish than our sample that we see here. Our
Yes.
sample we see here is very terracotta, dark terracotta brick.
It's a mixture.
And it's not purplish at all.
Yeah, it's a mixture of dark and light terracotta is what it is.
Good. Okay. And my second point was, I think garage door downlighting or sconces in brass or something that looks permanent and fitting for a firehouse. I know budget is something we're concerned about, but what's the committee's thoughts on downlighting or some sort of sconce for the new section?
Yeah, the lighting problem.
Yeah, the lighting you probably have to bring back.
But I'll just say stylistically, their design part here is a building that looks of that's new and not, correct me if I'm wrong.
Right.
It's not trying to be, contextual to what our preconceived notions are of a firehouse. So I would wait to see what they want to show us on that detail. I'm not sure that and I love the pictures, by the way, you circulated after the last meeting, Alex. Those were really cool, classic antique firehouses. But I'm not sure that's the look they're after with this. Just my thought on that.
Yeah, it would be, as I was saying, more modern,
Yeah,
in keeping with
it's not to mean that you can't find something that still has that historical echo to it, but maybe it's a little more transitional than.
So it makes sense.
Not I didn't mean to throw everyone off with the historic part, but as far as the sconce go, I think if you can light that lower section with nice warm light in the evening, I think driving through town, it would look terrific. As you drive through and the doors are glowing, it might just add a bit of richness to the structure, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, and I also think with a tall, pilastra you have on either side of those big doors, it might be a way to kind of break up that height a little bit if you had a sconce of some kind there. Not necessarily on all three,
I
but
think-
maybe just on the two ends. I don't know.
Because I was thinking that we do have some depth at the doors in the back behind it, so maybe in the thickness of the wall, we have some uplighting that'll illuminate the door as he was talking about.
That's kind of what I figured you'd want to do there with the contemporary look, relatively contemporary. Okay.
Could we make that like carve out as this process, then we'll come back with that when we
Yeah.
get down to that, because that's gonna be a detail way down the road.
Right.
We've got big budget concerns right now. so-
Nobody ever puts the lights in they show us anyway.
Well, we'll be.
And then as far as signage goes, I love the classic sign that's in front of the firehouse now. Is there any need to put signage on the new section, or will the old sign suffice?
Not unless they were going to identify engine numbers, which they do. The hose, Madison hose number 1, that's
I would hope they would not.
the whole entity. So that identifies the whole firehouse.
Yeah, we honestly haven't talked about that at all during this process, so.
So unless there were, I mean, I have seen firehouses where they identify each engine, but unless they were going to do something like that, which they haven't done, I wouldn't expect.
I wouldn't even bring it up.
I think this firehouse is a less is more thing.
Yeah.
I don't think they want to.
And I did look at the architect's website, and you guys do beautiful work. So I think it's going to turn out really, really nicely.
Thank you. Pass that on.
I think they've done a lot of firehouses for us in the past too.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
the office has done many.
Does somebody want to make a motion or?
I'll make a motion. But did you want to make a motion, Alex?
Well, I'm happy to make a motion to approve as presented tonight.
Should we discuss some of the concerns we have, like you're turning the corner on that? Make, in the motion, say we approve with the proviso that be done, and that the brick is acceptable in the end, after a mock-up.
We could.
And that the lights come back.
Well, Matt, to Ron's point, since I was not there looking at the screen, it probably makes more sense to have someone that saw the full presentation make the motion.
What do you think about that discussion, though? To discuss those?
I think,
Or should we just?
that, if the buildings are only
Yeah,
2.5 feet apart, the 2-foot return is probably, you can scrape a lot of knuckles trying to go 6 or 8 feet. And I don't think it's one of those things in my experience, you end up thinking it's a good idea and then you just can't go far enough and it won't, at 2 feet, I think it would probably be fine, in my opinion. I think it would probably be okay.
Well, that's what I
Yeah,
wanted to
yeah.
include or
So-
not include.
So I don't mind deferring that to I don't think it should be less than that,
Oh.
but I think 2 feet at least, so.
It is 2 feet on.
Yeah, so.
On the
so I
plan
think
it
that's-
tells right
I personally, that's fine.
So why don't we make, Alex doesn't want to make it, I'll make a motion to approve as presented with the side of the building dropping back about the 2 feet that we discussed with brick, the same side of the front, like on the side of the building, okay? And that they will come back to us with lighting when they make the motion.
And what Alex was asking was, once you finally get ready, you get contracted and you get final brick chosen, maybe you guys wouldn't mind running that by us,
Yeah.
Right.
I think
I would add that.
that's what Ron was
Okay.
saying, so.
I'll add that.
I'd love to see sconces or something too. I know it's down the road, but
Lighting is gonna
Come
come,
back to us.
Yeah,
That's part of the
they'll
they'll
motion.
come back with the lighting.
I'm happy to second then.
Marie, did you get all that?
Mhm.
It's all in there. It'll come out.
Oh, that's true.
Okay, so there's a second. Is there any more discussion? No. All in favor?
All right,
Aye.
All right.
good luck with everything.
Good luck.
gonna be nice.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
long time coming. I know that.
When's it gonna start, next year? Or,
No, we're open
Summer.
to start.
Oh, yeah.
oh, this,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Do you have enough money?
that's the problem. So so the timeline right now is, Munger is giving their DD level budget to us on, February 26th. And then, we'll see what we have to do for funding. If it's within our budget, then we're going to proceed.
If it's not within your budget,
Not in the budget, then Sam is going to do some, lobbying. Because what's up in the air now is the amount of SIP, funds that could be contributed to the process, to the project. And it's through a special appropriation, so it'll be if there's appetite to change that number or not. But we're hoping we have gone through this, instead of value engineering at the end, we've gone through this whole process with cost conscious in mind. So we didn't build anything in there that we're gonna scrape out. It's pretty accurate.
the end of my question.
Yeah, it's pretty,
That's what I was leading up
it's
to.
pretty austere right now, actually. It's definitely, function over form inside. It's doing everything they need the building to do. There's nothing fancy. There's no elements in it that don't need to be there. So we're hoping this budget comes in on track. If it does, then, we move to, I believe there's a special appropriation that needs to be done to finalize the SIP funding for it. And, then we'll work through Munger's on as a design builder, we'll work the GMP process, get that finalized. If we're still within the budget, then we'll off to the races. We'll start building immediately.
Yeah, they go to wetlands on March 3rd and they go to P and Z on March 6th.
Yeah.
The public hearing starts on March 6th.
So everything should come together early March if it's gonna be feasible. If it is, it's full speed ahead to get it built, because there's grant constraints where we have to spend our grant. I don't remember what the exact time is, within the next year, so.
I would emphasize, though, that we're very pleased with the design
Mhm.
in there too. So
Yeah.
I would
Yeah, we
encourage,
usually include
put
the
that
minutes.
as an
Yep.
encouragement to P and Z to not mess.
Well, it's a public hearing, right? Yeah,
Public
so,
hearing.
Before you guys do any value engineering, please do a fundraiser. We'll all
Yeah.
community chip in.
Just have
Get you
it
those good lights.
Off the door or something.
Okay,
All right.
thank you very
Thank you,
much.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's a new series.
so you did your minutes. If you have anything to talk about,
Good, aren't we?
then.
Oh, there's this thing called chairman's comments. I
Yeah, but no one's.
don't think I got it. I know.
You know what I mean?
That's right. Remarks. Does somebody want to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.